Every year, millions of people suffer back injuries on the job. In fact, 80% of us will experience some type of back pain, and 20 to 30% will end up with serious back problems. These injuries result in lost time and lost wages, not to mention some serious pain. In this program, we'll look at the basics of the back and spine to understand how most back injuries happen. We'll also look into ways to avoid these injuries through proper lifting technique. After the program, you'll find a bonus segment with exercises that will help keep your back strong and in shape. Your spine is a very complex structure made up of 24 separate bones stacked on top of each other, called vertebrae. Between the vertebrae are discs that act as shock absorbers. And running through the middle of both is the spinal cord. It's an amazing structure designed to be both strong and flexible. Add to this a host of supporting ligaments, tendons, and muscles, and you can see that there are plenty of things that can go wrong when it comes to your back. That's why you should make every effort to protect this vital area of your body. Let's talk in more detail about the discs, those vital links between your vertebrae. Here's a good way to think of a disc. It's like a jelly donut that's tough on the outside and soft on the inside. Whenever you bend or twist, the discs in your spine compress, allowing the spine to move with you. Right behind the discs are nerves, some of which run out to your arms and legs. If you put too much pressure on a disc, it can pinch a nerve, sending pain all the way down your leg. When you're born, the discs in your spine are made up of about 80% water. As you get older, though, the discs become dehydrated, which makes them more rigid. Discs can't repair themselves like bones and skin because they have no blood supply. So even the process of aging results in disc damage, which can lead to back pain. Another way to damage these discs is by overstressing them. You can do this by lifting something that's too heavy, lifting incorrectly, or even just by twisting your back the wrong way. Any of these things can result in a disc bulging out. That's called a herniated disc. Some people say they've blown out their back when this happens. When a disc bulges, it's likely to hit a nearby nerve, resulting in back pain. Muscles that connect to your spine are another hot spot for back pain or injury. Almost everyone has pulled a muscle at one time or another, so you know that it takes days, even weeks, for the muscle to heal. When that muscle is connected to your spine, it puts nearby ligaments, tendons, nerves, and discs at risk. The result can be back, neck, and sometimes even arm and leg pain. The best way to avoid back pain and injury is to keep your back in the neutral position as much as possible. In this position, your spine is relaxed and it forms an S-curve. Problems can arise when your spine is not in this position, but don't worry, there are ways to minimize the risks, and we'll talk about those soon. But first, here's a little test to help you determine if your spine is in the neutral S-curve position. Stand with your back against a door jamb. Your upper back and buttocks should touch the jamb, and your heel should be 6 or 7 centimeters away. Now slide your hand into the space between your lower back and the jamb. It should slide in easily, but almost touch the jamb and your lower back. This is your spine's most comfortable position. Of course, no matter what your job, it's impossible to keep your back in this position all the time. And the longer you keep your spine out of the neutral position, the more likely you are to overstress it. That doesn't mean just for heavy lifting jobs. You can overstress your back sitting down, standing up too long, or even lying down in the wrong position. Back pain occurs across the worker spectrum. If your job requires you to do the same task in the same position over and over, you're a candidate for back problems. Doing something over and over can stress tendons, muscles, and sensitive nerves. This can cause repetitive stress injuries like tennis elbow or carpal tunnel syndrome. A key to avoiding these disorders is to regularly let your body return to its neutral position. When a job requires a lot of one movement, stop every hour or so and reverse direction. If you've been bending forward a lot, support your back and bend backwards for a few seconds. If you've been reaching up, gently drop forward and be sure you balance yourself by gripping a solid object or lean forward with your hands on your knees for support. Whenever you don't reverse stretch, you stress the next level of balancers. First ligaments, then nerves, and finally a disc in your spine. Part of your job involves lifting, so it's vital that you use the correct technique to avoid back injury. We'll explain these techniques later in the program. First though, let's do a little self-assessment. Some back problems happen instantly, like when you strain to lift a box that's too heavy and you tear a muscle. If that happens, you'll know it right away. But most back problems develop gradually during years of abuse and get worse over time. Here are some early warning signs to help you ward off more serious back injuries. First, you should watch for muscle fatigue or aching that goes away with rest. This is a common warning sign that you're overstressing your back. Other signs include numbness, burning, stiffness, tingling. These may go away temporarily if you stop the movement that's causing them. Another warning sign is decreased range of motion. That's when your body won't move as far as it once did, like when you can't raise your arm as high as you used to. Make sure you listen to what your back is telling you. Ignoring these early warning signs can lead to more permanent and painful problems. When it comes to lifting, the first thing to do is size up your load. If it's too big, divide it up. Ask a coworker to help, or use a machine like a cart or a dolly. Be honest with yourself about how much you can safely lift. Trying to be a hero can be very costly to your health. Next, check your path. You need to be sure you have a clear path to wherever you're going before you pick up the load. Also, look for slanted or uneven surfaces. Don't get caught off guard. One slip could cause a lifetime of back problems, because once your back is injured, it has only minimal healing capabilities. That means you could have problems from then on. Okay, you've sized up your load and determined that it's manageable. You've cleared the path. Now it's time for the actual lifting. First, move as close as you can to your load. With your feet shoulder-width apart, put one foot ahead of the other to form a stable foundation. Bending at the hips, lean over your forward leg, making sure to keep your spine in the neutral S-curve position. Now, get a good firm grip on the load, using your palms, not just your fingers, and let your legs do the lifting. Legs have the largest muscles, so it makes sense to use them to lift. Remember to exhale as you lift, because holding your breath adds unnecessary stress. Keep the load close to your body. The further away an object is from your body, the more stress you're putting on your lower back to lift it. For loads you're lifting from the ground, drop to one knee and lift the load to balance it on your knee. Pause, adjust your grip, exhale, and then come to a standing position. Again, make sure you hold the load as close to your body as possible. Keep your head up and look straight ahead while lifting. This helps your spine maintain its neutral S-curve position. If you have to make a turn while you're carrying a load, aim one foot in the new direction and use your feet, not your waist, to pivot or walk out the turn. Remember to keep your hips in line with your shoulders. Twisting while carrying a load is one of the most common ways people injure their backs. When it's time to put down the load, set it down in one slow movement as you exhale. Jerky movements can pull muscles in your lower back. Try to avoid lifting heavy loads above your waist. If you do have to lift heavier loads like this, make sure to keep them centered between your waist and your shoulders. Also, don't reach and lift. If something's too far away to lift using proper technique, don't lean way over and try to lift it. You're putting a lot more stress on your back this way. Instead, find another way to get closer to the load, then lift it correctly. Remember, always bend at the hips, not the lower back. Bending at the knees is important, but it's not enough to ensure a safe lift. Bend the hips and push the chest out, pointing forward. Bending at the knees and at the hip shares the weight with your legs and gives your back a break. If your job involves loading or unloading trucks, make sure to maintain the safe lifting practices you've learned. Keep the load close to your body. Holding a package out at arm's length, even if it's just to load or unload it, means you're putting 10 times more pressure on your back than you need to. Of course, if the package is too heavy, get help with it. Here are a few more tips. On the ground, maintain a brisk walking pace on the most direct and clear path practical. Don't try to jump and dodge over and around other packages. Watch out for wet or slippery streets. Protect your head from low overheads through doorways and around your vehicle. Make sure the packages in your vehicle are stacked and secured correctly. Wear safety shoes with gripping soles and steel toes. Respect any pre-existing back condition you may have and don't overstress. If you use a hand truck, make sure to avoid stairs. Instead, use inclines, ramps, or if possible, an elevator. And don't overload the hand truck. You need a clear line of sight over your packages as you push, not pull, the hand truck to your destination. Here are a few more tips on using hand trucks. Load it on the sidewalk to avoid having to struggle over the curb. Secure the hand truck, especially if you are loading or unloading it on a hill. Entering buildings, you should control the door so it doesn't hit you or your packages. Don't drop a package on the plate of the hand truck. It can tilt forward and hit you in the head. Make sure all packages on the hand truck are secure. Make sure the hand truck is secured inside the vehicle before you drive to your next stop. Pushing is better for your back than pulling. When pushing something, keep your back in the neutral position. Pushing evenly with both hands will help you maintain that S-curve. Back injuries and back pain can strike anyone, no matter what job you do. The key to avoiding back problems is to maintain the neutral position, change positions often, use correct technique whenever lifting anything, and exercise to keep your back muscles strong and flexible. With a little awareness, you can do your part to keep yourself healthy, both at work and at home. Many back injuries result from weak or tight muscles. One study showed that back injuries occurred at the beginning of a shift and after lunch because workers were not warmed up. To protect your spine, muscles supporting your back must be strong and flexible. Here are a few exercises that can help you maintain flexibility and strength and avoid injuries. Do them only if they're comfortable. Single knee to chest. With your knees bent, pull one knee up toward your chest and slightly out to the side to stretch the muscles of the leg and back. Hold this position briefly, then alternate sides. Do each side 10 times. If you have knee problems, it may be easier to grab your leg underneath the knee to help pull it up to your chest. Cat-cow. Get down on all fours with your knees and hands on the floor and your back and neck in a neutral, straight position. Slowly tighten your abdominal muscles, rounding the back towards the ceiling and dropping your head, trying to look at your navel. Hold this position for 5 seconds, then release and return to neutral position. Now sag your back slightly in a relaxed position for 5 seconds. Release and return to neutral position. Think of rounding your back like an angry cat and then sagging your back like an old rickety cow. Prone arm and leg raises. Lie on your stomach, face down, keeping your neck straight with your legs straight and your arms straight overhead. Slowly raise and lower each arm and leg, one at a time, to make sure you have no discomfort. Now, lift your right arm and left leg at the same time and hold briefly. Repeat again, this time lifting the left arm and right leg at the same time. Do 10 repetitions for each side. If this exercise is too difficult for you, try this variation. Arm and leg raises. Place your hands and knees on the floor, creating a stable base with your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Keeping your neck and back in line, raise and lower each arm and leg one at a time and hold briefly. Straighten your leg as you raise it. Now, raise your right arm and left leg at the same time. Repeat again, this time raising the left arm and right leg at the same time, making sure to keep your body from twisting. Do 10 repetitions on each side. Propping. While lying with your stomach on the floor, prop yourself comfortably on your elbows by making sure your elbows are under your shoulders. Relax completely and hold the position for 30 seconds. Then lie down with your forehead on your hands and relax in this position for 30 seconds. Repeat for a total of 6 or more repetitions. Press up. If your back is more flexible, you may be able to get an even deeper back stretch by pressing your body up with your hands slightly below your shoulders. Peel your body off the floor slowly, like it is a piece of tape. Lift only as far as you are comfortable and do not hold this position. Watch that your hips do not lift off the ground. Repeat this exercise 10 times. For all of these exercises, a ground rule to remember is, if it hurts, don't do it. There are many other excellent exercises that will provide the same strength and flexibility training. Make sure to consult a physician if you already have back problems before starting any exercise program. As we said earlier, you can even damage your back and spine by lying in the wrong position as you sleep. First, you should sleep on a firm mattress that will provide good support. Also, the best sleeping positions are on the back with your knees slightly elevated. You can use a pillow for this, or lie on your side with your knees slightly bent. Now you have all the information you need to keep a happy, healthy back. Conscientiously following good back safety and keeping your back strong and flexible will prevent a lifetime of back pain.